Welcome to Bottomline Chat. I'm Emerson. I'm going to talk about the NHL Awards that are coming up June 21st in Las Vegas for the 2017 season. Now, there's only been 3 awards right now that are written. They're already given out, or will be given out because they've already been picked out. That's the Art Rouse Trophy for the high scorer that went to Connor McDavid of Edmonton. Obviously, with ones like that, they're pretty straightforward. They establish it. They don't need to be voted upon or anything like that. The other one was the Maurice Rocket Richard Trophy for the most goals by a player, and that went to Sidney Crosby of Pittsburgh. And then the last trophy was the William Jennings for the fewest goals against by a goalie, and that went to Sergei Bobrovsky, and that's of Columbus. And I mean, Columbus had a great year, and he was a pretty big part of that. So no real shocker on that aspect. So I'm going to go over some of these other ones that are up for grabs. I'm going to give you who I think out of the candidates. So the first one we're going to start with is the Hart Trophy for most valuable player in the whole league. Your 3 guys are, you got Sidney Crosby, you got Connor McDavid, and you got Sergei Bobrovsky. I think hands down goes to Sid the Kid. He had a phenomenal year. He had a phenomenal playoffs. So, I mean, can you really deny him of that? I think it's pretty hands down on that one. I'd be surprised if he doesn't get it, but that's my pick on that one, be Crosby. So then the next trophy would be the Calder Trophy for Best Rookie. So you have Austin Matthews of Toronto, Patrick Lane of Winnipeg, and Zach Werenski. Now, I think it was between these 2 guys. It was between Matthews and Laney. I seriously think it should go to Austin Matthews, not just because I'm a Leaf fan. But I think overall, I think that Austin Matthews did more for Toronto, given they basically were in rebuild mode. He had really nobody that he played with that made a difference for him. He played with 2 rookies himself. So, I mean, you have 3 kids playing together on the same line. I mean, he didn't have no veteranship. I think Laney had some veteranship on his side, where he played with Strifley sometimes, and I'm sure there's a few other guys. Sorry, I can't think of them offhand right now, but he had a little bit more, and he was more of a more secure goal scorer, where Matthews, I'd say, was more all around balance of a player. Either way, I think it's up for those 2. My pick's going to be Austin Matthews. So the next trophy after that is the Vezina Trophy for the best goalie in the league, and you got Carey Price of Montreal, Brendan Holtby of Washington, and Sergei Bobrovsky of Columbus. My pick, and some of you may not agree with this, but I'm going to go with Brendan Holtby. The guy was a workhorse all year long. He did great job for Washington. Obviously, President's Trophy winners. So, he was lights out. I think he was lights out. Not to take anything away from the other 2 guys, but I think he showed a little bit more. I mean, actually, out of the 3 goalies, he's the only one that went into the second round, because Columbus got knocked out in the first, and so did Montreal. So, I'm still going to stick to my guns on this. I'm going to say Holtby. I know you're going to have different opinions on that, which that's okay. Like I said, all 3 goalies are deserving of it, so making that clear. So, trophy after that is going to be the James Norris Trophy for best defenseman in the league. So you had Victor Hedman of Tampa Bay, you had Erik Karlsson of Ottawa, and Brent Burns from San Jose. I like Brent Burns. I would like to see him win it. However, Erik Karlsson had a phenomenal year. The guy, I mean, captain of Ottawa, he got them to go pretty far in the playoffs. He played lights out all season long. I I'm gonna say it's him. I think Karlsson wins this one, no doubt about it. I mean, if anyone's gonna challenge him for it, I'm gonna say it's gonna be Brent Burns, but I still think it's gonna be Karlsson that takes the thing for that. So, any of my friends out there who are true Leaf fans, I'm not picking him. I know Ottawa's a rival, but I gotta be completely honest, and I think he was a great player. So now we have the Frank Selke Trophy for the best defensive forward, and our candidates are Jonathan Toews, Zach Hyman, and Patrice Bergeron. I'm gonna go with Bergeron. I really think that he's a great two-way player. Zach Hyman had a great, phenomenal year for Toronto. I mean, he was back and forth all over the place. He was great. Obviously, Captain Jonathan is, he's a great player himself. So I mean, it could go either three ways on this one as well. I think they're all deserving of it. But I'm gonna go with Patrice on this one. Then you got the Lady Byng Trophy for the most gentleman player of the league. I don't know if there's many of those left. But you've got Mikhail Granlund, you've got Vladimir Tarasenko, and Johnny Gaudreau of Calgary. I'm going to go with Tarasenko because you don't really see that guy cause, if anything, you're just seeing him make incredible plays out there. That's all I ever see. I never see that he takes the dirty slash or anything like that. And hey, if there is, I've never seen the footage of it. So, like I said, that's who my pick's going to be for the Lady Byng, is Tarasenko. Next up, you got the Ted Lindsay Trophy for the best player voted by the NHLPA. I think a lot of them are going to pick Connor McDavid on this one. I mean, it probably could be Crosby again, but I think a lot of the people were amazed at what Connor McDavid did in his first full season in Edmonton. Obviously, in his rookie year, it was cut short to knee injury, but he still did phenomenal considering. But I think as the core players, I think they're going to say, yeah, he's more deserving of it. Sid, you don't need another trophy. You got too many. So, Connor McDavid's my pick on that one. Next trophy up is Jack Adams Trophy for Coach of the Year. So you got Todd McLennan of Edmonton. Obviously, he did a great job with them. Mike Babcock of Toronto. Another great year. Great things he did for Toronto. And John Tortorella. I don't think Torts is getting it. I mean, yes, he did a good job with Columbus, but the foundation was pretty much there anyways. You knew that they were bound to come out and start getting wins. And plus, I mean, their goalie really stole the show. It wasn't the coach. Now, as far as the other two, I'm going to go with Babcock. No, it's not because I'm a Leaf fan. I'm going with Babcock because I think the situation that he had, because Edmonton's had how many top first overall picks? They've had tons. And they've not made the playoffs, and not made the playoffs, and not made the playoffs. They kept bringing different guys in, and still nothing. Yes, this year they did do it. Yes, the coach, but that I don't know if it was necessary. I think it was picking up the Lucics and Cam Talbot. Like, that guy, I'm surprised he didn't get put in for the goaltending. Because he was rock solid too, but I guess you could only have 3. So, top 3. But Babcock had a really blown up team. Like, they just got rid of Phil Kessel, they got rid of Phaneuf. Loophole is off doing GQ magazine stuff. So the Leafs had really nothing. They had a couple vets, a couple guys that they've played a few years, but they're mostly rookies. They had the most rookies start the season. And look what they did their first year. They made the playoffs. They gave Washington a good run. 7 games with the President's Trophy winners. Not a bad thing to shake at. I'm proud of what they did. Yes, I wish they obviously have gone further. I'm a huge Leaf fan. What can I say? But I'm just thinking Babcock has gotten these kids to buy into his system. I think his coaching is what's gotten these guys going. And it's not a knock against the Edmonton coach, too. He was coach with San Jose, did a lot with them. But my bet's going to be on Babcock. So then we go into the Bill Masterson Trophy, which is dedication to hockey. Now, this is normally where you have guys that have been hurt and still came back, or like they've showed that they're really dedicated to the sports. So the candidates, you got Craig Anderson of Ottawa, Andrew Colangelo of Anaheim, and Derek Ryan. I can't think of what team he's with offhand. I apologize for that. But either way, I think hands down it's Craig Anderson. Like, that guy went through hell this year. And I think for what he endured with finding out about his wife having cancer, and I mean, that's something that, it affects you. Even if it's your day-to-day job. Like, I remember losing some of my relatives, including my own father, to cancer, and it shakes you up. So when you find out somebody close to you gets that, and you still got to go to work, and you still got to play the sport and stuff like that, he came out with a mission. And I think he really was thinking that, he took a lot of time off too to spend with his wife, to go to those appointments and all that, because he didn't want to miss those moments with her and make sure he was there to support her. But at the same time too, he showed that he was focused and wanted to win. And I know a lot of it was he wanted to win for her. And that's dedication to hockey. He was dedicated, even though all that stuff going on in his personal life. And he had tremendous fan support, and that's one thing I really do like about a lot of the fans. Even myself, when I heard about it, I was rooting for him, even though I don't like Ottawa, but I like him as a person and as a goalie. I think he's a great player. He's a great father, obviously, and husband. He's a great guy, and I think they should really give that award to him. And it's not to knock the two guys that are up for grabs for it, but I think Anderson by far is the hands down winner on the Bill Masterson Trophy. Anyways, next trophy is the Mark Messier Leadership Award. So obviously it goes to the guys who are big key leadership guys on the team. So you've got Nick Foligno of Columbus, Mark Giordano of Calgary, and Ryan Getzlaf of Anaheim. And I know my boss at work is going to probably like hearing what I'm going to say about this, because he's a huge Anaheim Ducks fan. I'm going with Getzlaf on this. Again, not to diss the other two captains, but Getzlaf is just one of those guys that he wears his pride on whatever jersey he's got on. And he is a big leader. He's a huge factor of Anaheim's success. He's done it even internationally. He's a great leader, period. So I feel bad, because Nick Foligno obviously showed great leadership in Columbus. Giordano did as well in Calgary. But I still think it's going to be Getzlaf hands down. Again, that's just my opinion. Now this award, I'm not 100% sure exactly what it entails. I was trying to read up on it on the NHL website, and this is all I got. It's the Foundation Player Award. Basically, it's to do with core values of hockey. Now, I'm not really quite sure. I think what they're trying to mean is outside of hockey. And I'm really surprised there's only two guys up for grab for this, and that's Wayne Simmons of Philadelphia and Travis Harmick of the Islanders. So, to me, this is like a 50-50 coin toss type of pick. And I would say probably Wayne Simmons wins this. I don't really know. If anyone has any more in-depth detail of what this award's about, I'd like to hear it in the comments below. It just, like I said, I from what I could do in the time that I was looking, I couldn't figure out exactly what it was enduring. But the last award that I was getting off the website and all that with the candidates is the GM of the Year award. So you've got Pierre Doron of Ottawa, Peter Chiarelli of Edmonton, and David Poile of Nashville. I think, given, like, obviously, no disrespect to the other two organizations, but I think Nashville's GM, Dave Poile, I think he should definitely get it. He's done a lot for that organization. I mean, when they came in from an expansion, they weren't just absolutely horrible. They were clawing, hence being a predator. They were clawing at every opportunity to get successful. And then when they started getting, because I mean they've had, as soon as they got a phenomenal goaltender, they've been quite a threat. And this year they just really solidified it, and their fan base really amazes me. They've really come behind this team. I think it's brought a lot of good towards the Nashville city of Tennessee. They were so passionate, and I mean, and it's also just kind of nice in a way. It's a different atmosphere where most you hear it's like pump up rock and dance and stuff like that, and Nashville's mostly it's pump up with country music, and they've got their own little heritage in it, and I like it. It grew on me in the playoffs. Like, I was like, oh, these guys are pretty cool. I actually like this this scenario. Like, that suits them, like to me now. That's what I would expect when you see Nashville in the playoffs. This is the atmosphere. That's theirs. They've solidified that that's theirs. But like I said, nothing against the Ottawa or Edmonton for their successes. Obviously, their GMs did have a big part in what they've done to get to where they are. I'm sure there could have added a few more to that list. Brendan Shanahan, he's done a lot for the Leafs organization. And I mean, the list goes on. These GMs, they have a big task. I mean, this is a business. Obviously, they want to win just as much. Probably not like the GMs of past for the Leafs, but these guys they need to build, and they need to build it correctly. So, I mean, hats off to them, and that sums up the awards. Now, the other kicker that's going to happen at those awards is that's when they're going to do that expansion draft, from what the word on the street is. So it's going to be shake up a few teams. Unfortunately, they're going to lose some key players. You're already seeing a couple of them now waiving their no trade clauses because they'd rather get traded prior to that than get stuck where they can't. So two names so far that have popped up for those no trade is Dion Phaneuf and Marc-Andre Fleury. So you're going to see probably some more kick out in the next few days, maybe the next week or so. But it'll be interesting to see. So, anyways, those are my picks on who I think is going to win these awards. You tell me what you think. I want to hear if you got any different opinions, why it is. You know, chirp me if you like. I'm down for it. Anyways, that's my bottom line. I want to hear yours. Hope you enjoyed the video. Talk to you next time. Bye for now.